Players, you guys can start. Good luck. Have fun. All right, they're going to get started.
Yo, Cali coming in out of nowhere and just running through the entire gauntlet.
This is true.
And making his way to the semis. And he wins the die roll, and he leads on Island Delver. Yeah, dude, that basic island is such clutch tech. He won last game because of it.
Yep. Mox Diamond.
Here we go.
Stage.
Mox Diamond into stage, into what play? Second Mox Diamond. Let's go.
Loam.
Yeah, loam those back. What a start. It's pretty good. Pretty good start.
So this is how these, for those of you not familiar, these depths decks build card advantage by using cards like Mox Diamond. You know, they don't have Brainstorm, Ponder, whatnot, right? Right, Phil? So they use Loam to overwhelm with card advantage.
Yeah, the double Mox Diamond is just a really good start because it's going to turn off a lot of it's going to tax the soft counter magic on Rich's side, and it's going to mean that he's going to have a lot of blanks. So he's going to really have to put a lot of effort into maintaining this Delver going the distance. However, a Abrupt Decay can really, really put the kibosh on that. I think we're going to see Cali just slam another threat here and go start applying pressure. He's obviously the aggro matchup in this.
Yeah.
The aggro deck in this matchup.
Yeah.
Bang. Young peasy.
My approach in this matchup is just like flip that Delver, get another creature on the board, start swinging away, and hope to draw a Wasteland to at least slow down their development of a Marrow Age.
Yeah.
Phil Nguyen correcting me that they do have a Brainstorm. Yes, this is a bug depths deck, so he does have Brainstorm, but most, like the Turbo depths, just black-green, don't have that.
Brainstorm in a loam deck is pretty hot in that you can brainstorm and use one of the 3 draws to delve a loam.
Yeah.
So you can actually, as you're drawing your 3 cards, you can see the first 2 and then decide to replace the 3rd with your loam to get some additional value.
All right, here's depths.
So crop rot to find the depths, and he could just be threatening. Yeah, he could just threaten a 2020. So that was an end step crop rot.
Yep.
And here we go, 2020. Let's go. So he's main phasing this specifically to make sure that his opponent can't slam a Wasteland. So now Rich Cali is pretty much on either blocks with the Delver, or he's on busts outside of a Brazen Borrower.
A Brazen Borrower would be sweet right here.
I mean, that's the whole point of why it's in the deck, right?
Yep. Brainstorm.
So he really needs to just find the Brazen Borrower and fire it off, because otherwise he is very much exposed to an Abrupt Decay just ending the game.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Brazen Borrower not in the main deck. Thanks, chat. I forgot about that. I keep mixing up the Delver decks that were submitted today.
If he doesn't have a Brazen Borrower in the main now, are there any outs to a 2020?
Good question. Let's do a check. Any outs to a 2020? No, other than chump blocking it and cracking back for more damage, I don't see a way here.
So if he survives here, that means that he's going to have to block with the Delver, but then he's going to have to put another Delver onto the table and then have that flip too. And I unless he has running Delvers, with Jason still at a pretty hefty life total. Sprite Dragon's also an out. That's true. It's at least another flyer to get in the way. The one thing, though, is that he's not going to be able to attack in... There's step 1. He plays another Delver. He doesn't get to attack in this turn, so he does get fogged for that turn, facing a 2020. And there's the Abrupt Decay that we talked about, and that'll do it. But, yeah, and I also was thinking, because even though Jason opened with double Mox Loam, he did lead with Mox. So he had 2 lands for double
Who was
Loam.
On the play? Was Rich on the play?
Rich was on the play and he hit a Delver. But Jason didn't go land Mox pitch and then play loam, play the second Mox. He went Mox. So he led first with Mox. So he was exposing that first Mox to Daze. Now, I don't know if you're the Delver player, if you sniff that out and go that, leading with Mox means that you don't necessarily Daze it there. But I think that game, aside from obviously having all the tools needed to make a 2020 very quickly, that game seems to me that the edge that was had was the fast mana.
Yes.
So we have another quick start here, and now we see him playing around Daze, which would lead us to think that he doesn't have a second Mox. But
and
early
here. Okay.
Early Delver followed on the opposing side Mox into Reclaimer. That's going to meet a Force of Will.
I think forcing Reclaimer is correct here. It's a key card.
We're going to see a fetch, slam. He's just had double elf draw. Looks like it. Slam another elf. Daze that. Rich Cali's going to have to daze it. Otherwise, we got a big 3/4. Nope, that's going to stick.
All right.
So that's okay. A 3/4 isn't necessarily the end of the world, even though it is a crop rod on a stick.
Delver flips, though.
Jason will take it to the face. And Rich will fire off that Brainstorm. So what we've seen in previous weeks is we have seen Jason very aggressively convert into a man plan. In post-board games, he has shown that he is very apt to take a man plan and not necessarily go for a 2020 until it's convenient for him.
Yeah.
So
he's turned into kind of a mid-range deck post-board with Oko and Uro and whatnot, outvaluing the Delver decks. Mm-hmm. Well, we haven't seen him play against Delver yet, but you know what I mean.
So we're seeing a Brainstorm into a Ponder shuffle. So that Ponder to what was probably primarily only used to get that shuffle effect, because if you're putting 2 cards back and just need to clean up the top, then that's the best tool of that. Another 3 to the face and passes it back. So now we've got a live Reclaimer on the table.
So obviously we don't know what's in Jason's hand or anybody's hand right now, but he fetches. Okay. I mean, he has a. Well, he just played a land, right? So everything I just said is never mind, because he's not going to go for a Merit Lage now. Play against.
Yeah. So this is what we were talking about on that man plan that he's prone to move into. So he's established his mana. He's played around Wasteland effectively, and now he's got a bunch of threats that are coming in that are going to slow things down. Do we know what he named with the Engineer? I have to imagine it's...
No, we can ask, though. You want to ask?
Yeah, let me just hop back in there.
No, I'll ask him.
Draw a card.
Hey, guys, what was Plague Engineer naming?
Engineer's on a human.
Thanks, guys. Human. It's on human film.
Yeah, he names human, so it shuts off young pyromancers, and it softens this Delver. And Rich is going to go after the Elvish Reclaimer before it can become a 3/4. Is that what's happening?
Oh, is that what's happening? Okay. I thought it was a 3/4 this whole time. So maybe life totals are wrong. Sorry about that.
But another 2 comes to the face because Delver's not a human anymore. Never mind. No, it is human insect, right? Yeah.
It's a human insect.
Insect. Yes. Okay. So
Cali
just
total check here.
Yeah, he hit him for 2.
I
Jason
gained
swings
0
back for 2 of his own.
Oh,
so
yeah,
that's how talk
right,
the graveyard. Creatures I gained 3. Otherwise, I draw a card.
Okay. So
and this is interesting. This is the type of game that I imagine
hang on,
is.
Phil, sorry, too many people talking. 1 second. What are the life totals for you guys?
I should be at 12, and you should be at 13. Is that correct?
Yep, that's right.
Thanks, guys. Sorry about that, Phil. What were you saying?
Oh, good. I was saying that this is the type of game that I imagine Rich is much more happy to be playing. I think if Jason is going to move or pivot closer to this man plan where they're trading, he's playing threats, we're going back and forth, the game extends a little bit. I think that favors Rich, who's already priced into keeping his bolts because of Reclaimers anyway.
Yep.
So it feels like the man plan in this matchup is going to favor Rich, especially when he's on the play, and that's ultimately good for him.
Confidant, pretty good. And another Reclaimer. Ugh.
Yep, falling through. He's. I wonder if he boards out a portion of the depths package.
I think he said he does on previous streams, but we can ask him.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting way to go with it, especially because everybody has to board in to protect themselves from 2020s.
Yep.
So this Confidant is a little bit better because that Delver is softened. It's a 2-1 right now.
I'm just going to ask Rich to move his lands forward. Rich, can you just move your permanents in play forward just a little bit? Delver up and the lands up. There you go. Thank you. Awesome. Yeah. So, things still looking not so good for Rich, though.
They're not looking good for Rich. I think that Elvish Reclaimer again is a big card. He goes for he doesn't want to fall too far behind on cards, so he throws the bolt at the Confidant rather than the Plague Engineer. So I guess that signals to Jason that there isn't another human that Rich is going to be trying to get through. He's really going to be just leaning on this Delver to go the distance. But that Reclaimer putting Jason's deck into his hands is a pretty big deal, and it's out of bolt range. So unless a Dismember can still potentially deal with it, but now there's 5 coming in the opposite way, and this race is now in favor of Jason, actually.
Ooh, an Uro.
Yeah, he just completely boards out into a mid-range plan. And Uro's a good one to do it. He's not going to be recurring anytime soon because blue, green is going to be tough to get here.
But the 3 life is big, and
oh yeah, the 3 life is huge. It's a time walk in this position.
Yep. I'll be surprised if Rich wins this, but if anyone can win it, it's him, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's used 2 bolts. His Arcanists are still live if he can find them and if he kept them in.
Well, don't forget, I don't think it's in the graveyard yet, but he can Reclaimer for Bog and just make Dreadhorde sad.
Right, and if he does that, he would have to. I mean, if he's attacking, if a Arcanist comes down. So what he can do here is he can hold up. He doesn't need to attack with the Reclaimer if he doesn't want to here, and he can recur Uro next turn. Yep. I don't know if that's more beneficial than just getting into the red zone, especially since...
I like the attack with Plague Engineer here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that if Rich trades his only threat, that's probably fine, especially... It just means that you're really far ahead.
Is he delving here? What's happening?
It looks like it.
Oh, Cling to Dust. Cling to Dust is happening.
To get rid of that Uro? No, he's delving 5. He's clinging. He's got to be clinging the Uro.
Yeah.
If it's a cling. Yeah.
Just going to reread Cling to Dust. If it's a creature card, you gain 3 life, right? Yep.
So Cling is also interesting as a long-term plan. It can kind of check the Reclaimer in this position. I mean, it's a lot of mana, though, to do so. He's got to go after the Uro first, obviously.
Yeah, Crop Rot response.
So now that will meet a force of will, which was necessary because otherwise it means that Reclaimer would be threatening a 2020. So that force will happen, and then the Cling went after...
Oh, it went after a land?
Yeah, it went after Waterlog. So I think he went after Cling because Uro isn't really doing much because double blue is going to be very hard to get to. It was going to take at least a couple of turns. And I think with only 3 lands in the graveyard at the time that he clinged, that clinging the Reclaimer down into bolt range might be the path that Cali needs to take.
Okay, so he did not gain 3 life. So he's at 6. Sorry about that, everybody. A lot of things happened that turn.
Yeah, the 3 life only comes if he removes a creature, which if he removed Uro, yeah. But
Yeah.
I think Cali's playing interesting position because the Uro is kind of buried in that graveyard for a little while because double blue is no small task. Although,
Well, he has double blue
Jason, now he has double blue, but he won't have double green. Like green, green, blue, blue is really
I
hard
see
with
what you're
basic
saying.
swamp.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, like the recursion of Uro is difficult in this position. So Rich going after the lands to try and shrink the Reclaimer is because from this position, do you think Jason is just going to go and set up for a 2-turn Merit Lage, or is he just going to go to try and recur an Uro right now?
It looks like that's what he's doing because he just fetched a stage with Reclaimer on I believe, end step.
Yeah, so it looks like he's going to go for 20/20s. I wonder if what the thought process is for potentially going for Uro. I mean, I guess it's safer to go with the 20/20 because you could threaten a Cling to snag it.
Yeah.
But that does spend all of Rich's mana.
Another Reclaimer.
Is that the fourth
That's
Reclaimer of this game?
Yeah. It's a little frustrating for Rich.
No, it turns out that Reclaimer is a good card. It seems like it's gonna get countered here.
Yep. Rightfully so.
I mean, for what it's worth, Cali's hand has been presented as reactive because he only played the Delver and hasn't played an additional threat all game.
That's true. Yep. You do want to have interactive cards in your hand in this matchup for sure.
Oh no, he's just gonna to cling here.
Okay.
So if he clings something to draw a card here, he's looking for action. And it's going to be really bad if this just becomes another 3/4 on the table that's threatening the 20/20 as well.
Let's check in what just happened there.
Yeah, it just sticks.
Sure. I'm at 2.
Hey, so what did you exile with Cling?
Snowcurvet's 1.
Okay, so what are life totals now? I'm sorry, guys.
2 to 14.
2 to 14. Okay, continue.
Alrighty.
I'll pass to you. Yeah.
Okay, so Rich is at 2.
Yeah, the way that these cards just line up, it's like the 3/4 is really favorable. This young Pyromancer is potentially holding them on the ground is solid for Rich. However, he does still have the potential to deal with a 20/20.
Yep.
And he's also going to need to play another spell as well if he wants to be able to hold off these 3/4s without having to trade his young Pyromancer, which if he has to trade his young Pyromancer, I think the game is probably over. But if he is able to turn this Ponder into an additional spell here and block the 2 Elvish Reclaimers, it'll be then the onus is going to be on Jason to decide if he wants to just go for a 20/20 or if he wants to continue the beatdowns and apply the pressure on taxing these tokens.
Isn't step
because if
Reclaimer just lethal? That's a good point, Negator. I think early in the game, though, he discarded step, if I remember correctly, with his Mox Diamond. I can't remember if that was game 1 or 2, though. So the stage is now... Okay.
Yeah, if you're in the... Yeah, now he can recur Oko.
Uro, yeah.
Oh, sorry, Uro. I saw Oko on the screen for a second because he just put it face up, yeah.
Surgical.
Surgical on the Uro. That's good. And that also gives him the second token to be able to hold off these 2 Reclaimers. So it makes me wonder now, does he play beats and just trade those 2 tokens off the table and continue that until he's priced into going for a 20/20? Because you have to assume that based on how reactive it seemed Cali's hand was, that he has to have something in his hand that's prepped for a Merit Lage that for the entire time has been threatened by the first Reclaimer from earlier in the game.
And there's Oko, and it gets forced. Pitching Sprite Dragon. Can't see
3 tokens now. Does that leave Cali hellbent?
I'm not sure. All right.
Yep, he's got a chunk with both.
Yeah, it looks like he just has 1 card in hand, but he preordains here. That was a good draw.
You got to wonder what are Cali's outs here. I mean, A Gurmag isn't even all that. I guess a Gurmag would just clear the last of his yard and get rid of that cling to dust.
Yeah.
But that doesn't even seem like it's all that effective because of 2020 is down. And Cali's bringing the beatdowns.
That's an interesting decision.
Just no fear. He's swinging with all of it. That opens up an Abrupt Decay. So if he's got another spell, that means that an Abrupt Decay is live to end the game and just get rid of a token. And another Oko.
Ugh.
What do we got? Assume Cali's going to respond with at least a Brainstorm.
Oko's good.
Oko will just stick. Bang.
Elk.
Mox Diamond. 3/3. Let's go. Beats. I think that'll do it unless he's got a sling of spells here. But that Oko resolving makes me think that at best he's got maybe just I don't even know. I don't know what would happen. What would have to happen here? That additional threat coming in, Oko just being a 3/3 with haste, means that he would have needed to spell and have left the token behind. Yeah, so he's got another cling. That's going to give 2 tokens. So he needs to find, if he finds something, if he finds an instant off of this cantrip, then he can stay live for at least a turn. Huh. Oh, and he got it. Did he get it?
Uh-oh.
Brazen Borrower? Is that Petty Theft? There it is. All right, we're live. Petty Theft, the Mox Diamond. Chump chump. And now that Brazen Borrower also means that he'll have at least a flyer to he'll have a flyer to at least stop a Merit Lage if it comes down to that. I don't know if we'll get that far.
Does he attack Oko here, or I mean he's at 1 life?
Yeah, this game has been insane.
It has been.
I mean, I think Rich is really priced into leaving back both all his tokens now. He's got to stop these 3/4s.
Oko gets hit. He's now at 3. Dread Horde. It's a good draw.
Jason's playing off the top, right? He's got Mox Diamond plus what he just drew, and those are his cards. And then, I mean, granted, he also has the extension of his deck in his hand because of the 2 Reclaimers.
Yes.
But also, Oko just cuts so many axes, right? Because he could just start making food and just gaining life and blanking a bunch of attack steps coming from Cali. So it's still
Oko
a
needs
really
to be defended though.
Right, but I mean, I'm saying like right now, Jason's in a position where he can both defend and threaten Merit Lage.
Yeah. All right, he's making a food here.
This game has been nutty. If you guys are just joining us, it's Jason who's on Bug Depths and Rich Cali who's been playing Grixis Delver. The pressure has been on Cali all game.
Yeah.
With all 4 Reclaimers showing up for Jason. And he's just been threatening a Merit Lage this whole time and hasn't had to use it yet because he's been the beatdowns. He converted to a man plan. And Cali has just managed that Cling to Dust has somehow done an amazing work all game. He gained a bunch of life. It's drawn him a couple cards. Uro's got Surgical earlier, and somehow he's been clawing back into it. It's still really tight. It's an uphill battle for sure if he's going to get back into it.
The fact that Jason was not able to attack that turn tells me that this game might be turning from a heavily advantaged Jason game to a more even, we don't know who's going to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, with Rich at 1, it means that all of his fetches are dead, which is important because of Cling to Dust, right? It is both fodder and mana for Cling to Dust.
Yeah.
But it also means that any Force of Wills that are left over are shut off if that becomes relevant at all.
Yeah.
And it also means that every threat is going to be a lethal one. So how Rich decides to base his attacks in the red zone, it's like I would imagine that you really want to be getting this Arcanist into the red zone, but it's just going to get eaten by these 3/4s. So maybe you can flashback Cling to get rid of some lands, but he can use one of the Reclaimers to put another land into the yard. So he's really just throwing this Arcanist into the wind to get another cantrip, which I think you're priced into, right? Like I don't think there's another option to other than converting that Arcanist into a Ponder. But having to balance the number of threats that you need is important. And I think that Cali deciding to go, okay, I'm going to throw this Arcanist away for a Ponder is cognizant that he's aware that because Jason didn't attack last turn, that the game now is going to become about a Merit Lage.
And Jason fetching response here, so he has some response to the flashback ability. So Ponder's not on the stack yet. Gets an Underground Sea. Let's see what he does.
I think he could also just go and trade this for a Bog right now and shut that line off entirely.
Yeah.
For what that's worth, that's not necessarily a bad thing because it turns off a Reclaimer. And if that Reclaimer is turned off, I would imagine he's going to want to at least cling to turn another card. Yeah.
He could. Can he gain 3 life here? Is there a
So
Reclaimer still in the yard? Okay, he goes for a land.
Yeah, he had to exile his whole yard. Otherwise, he could have exiled his own Delver if he still had that to gain 3.
It looks like Jason still has a Reclaimer in the yard, so that option was there if he wanted to do it. Dreadhorde down. So that was a kind of a sad Dreadhorde attack.
We have 3 tokens. And Jason does not go for the depths there. He's just not interested. He thinks he's ahead on board. He's patient.
He did cling, but he cast it with escape. And then it got exiled.
Yeah, so he traded that 4 mana to just get another card. This food is now a 3/3, so there's going to be 3 3/3s coming in. But we have 3 tokens on the other side. Notable that spending that 4 mana on Cling means that he doesn't have the option to flash in that Brazen Borrower, which is on an adventure.
Yep. 3 Japanese Pokemon down.
It seems as though Cali is aware that his Pyromancer is just keeping him alive and he just needs to keep the resources coming. He needs to keep the fuel going, which is why he decided to draw a card off that Cling rather than gain the 3 life, because that 3 life buys him 1 hit. He can take 1 hit off of a 3/3, but I don't think that's necessarily a winning line.
No. Well, I guess we'll find out. Rich thinking here.
So notable that the Brazen Borrower can only block flyers text is relevant in this position.
Yes.
That flashing it in is not going to do anything in the red zone on this board, other than attacking an Oko. But how often are Okos ever attacked down? So we have a Sprite Dragon.
Okay, that's not very exciting.
Well, Sprite Dragon can get exciting if he can get it to be a 4/4.
He most likely cannot. We'll see.
Because if he has 2 spells now, he can at least trade off of the 3/3, or if he cantrips into land into cantrip or spell into spell, he could also go something like cantrip into bolt your food, into something else, build enough tokens, block the 2 Reclaimers again.
Delver.
I think that Delver's probably just on chump duty this time.
Yeah. And a blue spell of some kind. He dazes his own Delver and then pays. Yeah, this is not very good.
I think this is where we're starting to see the fumes come out. And he's actually going to swing with the Sprite Dragon.
Swings adjacent.
Yeah, I mean, swinging at Oko is not a winning line here, right?
No.
Like you're hoping to chip and find and get him into range to bolt him off the top or something, right? Like there's
that Mox Diamond discard depths, I believe.
There's also a world too where
swaps Mox Diamond for something and a scoop.
Yep.
All right, let's tune into the players.